Hey food lovers, welcome to my channel. So today guys, I'm gonna share with you the most amazing Nigerian jollof rice recipe. This recipe is packed with a lot of flavor as I've amplified the regular jollof recipe by infusing a lot of flavor into the rice. As you know, rice is starch and it has the ability to absorb a lot of flavor, so I took advantage of that by incorporating a lot of flavor into the rice before introducing the tomato paste. So this is not your regular jollof method. So I have amplified the famous jollof rice recipe and the outcome is amazing. This is absolutely gonna blow your socks off. It's a no-brainer guys, you have to try the recipe. So let's get started. Here's a list of ingredients you'll need to make the most delicious Nigerian jollof rice. You'll find the recipe linked down below in the description box. Do well to check it out. So right now we're just going to prep pepper and aromatics. So into the blender I just added in some chopped bell peppers and some onion and garlic and ginger, and I'm just going to puree them until it is smooth, and I'll transfer that to a bowl. And here's my meat. I've been marinating these for right about 2 hours. So I marinated the chicken off camera. It's just pretty easy. I just did that with my aromatics as well as my all-purpose seasoning. So I'm going to share the recipe for the all-purpose seasoning after this video. Just watch out for that. It makes life much easier and it reduces cooking time. So yeah, I'm gonna share that with you and you're absolutely gonna love it. You have to try that. So I'm just gonna allow this meat steam for right about 5 minutes just to infuse all of those flavors into the meat before I will introduce any form of liquid. So the meat is gonna cook in its own juice and it helps create a very flavorful meat. So I would encourage you at all times to prep and cook your meat this method. Is a very effective way of infusing a lot of flavor into your meat. So 5 minutes down the line I have just added in a bit of water into the meat, and we're just going to cook that down until the meat is cooked. So you cook to your preference. So if you like your meat a bit tough, you're going to adjust the cooking time accordingly by cooking less compared to if you like your meat softer. If you want your meat softer, you adjust the cooking time. So we're just going to cook this until the meat is cooked, and I used right about 1.5 cups of water to cook this, and you're going to cook on medium heat. You don't want to cook on high heat. Cooking on high heat will cause you to use a lot of water to cook your meat because you have a lot of water evaporating because you're cooking on very high heat and your meat is still not cooked. So you end up diluting all of those flavors you have managed to incorporate into the meat. So I have a video on how to cook your meat without having to marinate it. For that video, I share tips and tricks on how you can do this to get a very flavorful meat. I highly recommend you go check that video out if you're interested. I'll link it down below in the description box as well. So at this point the meat is pretty much cooked and I'm just going to get it off the heat and we're going to fry that. So right now it's time to fry the meat. So into some hot oil I just added in the meat. So I infused the oil with some onion. I love to do this at all times when frying my meat because it helps to incorporate the beautiful flavor and aroma of the onion to the oil, and also this will also be transferred into the meat while frying. It also makes your kitchen and your home smells really delicious. It's a win-win guys. You have to try this method. It's really effective. So I'm just going to fry this meat until it's golden brown, and I'll just flip occasionally to ensure that the meat is browning evenly. And that's pretty much it guys. You can as well air fry your meat or grill it. It works either way. It's equally delicious. You have to try this recipe. So right now I just transferred turkey oil, the oil I used to fry my turkey. It's really flavorful. It has that beautiful flavor from the turkey as well as the onion. So I'm just going to cook down that aromatics by onion, ginger and garlic for right about 3 minutes before I introduce the tin tomato paste. So we're going to cook this tin tomato paste until for right about 15 minutes. So we do that to eliminate that tart flavor that it has. So tin tomato paste has the tart flavor because it has citric acid. Citric acid is what is used as a preservative to prolong the shelf life. So we're just going to cook that down to eliminate that tart flavor, and this is exactly the texture you should be looking out for. So when preparing your tomato base, you want to take time to do that to ensure that you do it right, because it's a very important step in getting the most delicious Nigerian jollof rice. So I'm going to cook this in 3 stages. So the first stage was cooking of the tomato paste, and now I just added in the fresh pepper blend that has the aromatic as well, and I'm just going to cook that down for right about 15 minutes as well. And you're just going to watch out for the texture. So texture is key when cooking the tomato paste. You will see over time as you cook, the texture of the tomato paste will change with a lot of oil being released, as you can see right here. And now I'm just going to add the fresh tomato paste. So this is my own recipe on how to make fresh tomato paste. I have a video of this in the channel, so you want to check it out. I'll have it linked in the description box. Also, subsequently, I'm going to upload another version of how you can make this. So it's really, really good. You know how to make the most luxurious tomato paste at home. So I love to do it at all times. It gives my tomato stew a beautiful red natural color. So I'm going to cook this down for right about 15 minutes again, until you see the texture of the tomato stew is just about this nature, and then I season. Don't forget guys, the recipe for this will be in the description box, so check it out. So in goes our seasoning, and I'm just going to mix everything to combine, and it will cook for right about another 5 minutes. It's really advisable that you take your time to make your tomato stew for the jollof rice, so it's recommended you make it ahead of time to save cooking time on the day you want to make your jollof rice. So this step is very important. And right now I just added in the meat stock, the turkey stock, and I'm just gonna mix all of that in, and we're just gonna allow this to boil and infuse the flavor into the stew, and it's pretty much ready. So this stage of the preparation is ready, and this is exactly what you should be looking out for. So you want to drop your heat to medium heat and allow it simmer. So you want to cook this for right about 10 minutes. So this is exactly what you want your stew to look like. And the next important step in making the most delicious jollof rice is your rice. So at this point, I'm not using basmati rice, I'm using the regular rice. But what is the most important thing here is the fact that we have to wash that rice really clean. So there's a lot of residual starch all around the rice grain. So you want to wash it to get rid of those surface starch, because that's exactly what's going to make your rice thick and gives it that less appealing visual look. So you don't want all of that. So we want single grain cooked rice, and in order to achieve that, you want to wash your rice effectively. So you have to wash your rice at a minimum 7 times. You can go up to 8, 9 times. So the more you wash it, the more you're getting rid of the surface starch, you're getting rid of excess calorie, and you are more likely to get it right with your single grain cooked rice. So this stage is really, really important. You do not want to rush the stage. I repeat, you do not want to rush the stage. So you will repeat this process at a minimum 7 times. So I've washed this rice for right about 7 times, and this is the 7th time, and you can see the water is running a little bit clear, and that's exactly what you are looking for. So this is exactly what we are looking for. It's pretty different from the initial start, and you can see the difference as I pour. So this is exactly what you should be looking out for. So once you've succeeded to wash your rice to this stage, you have passed the test. So the next stage now is my own method. So this is from my own test kitchen. I decided to go with this method because it doesn't matter how well I make my tomato base, I always notice that there's a huge difference between my jollof rice and fried rice. My fried rice, the rice has a lot of intense, beautiful flavor. So I thought about incorporating the same technique I used to make my fried rice with making jollof rice, and voila, that's the best thing that has ever happened to jollof rice. Trust me guys, you have to try this method. It's so good. You will notice a huge difference with the taste of your jollof rice. It comes with that beautiful flavorful rice, and the tomato base just complements it. So prior to now, jollof rice is made by just making your stew, the tomato base, and incorporating it with the rice. Nothing wrong with that method, but it just leaves it in a different level. But if you try this method or technique, it's going to amplify the taste, the flavor profile of your jollof rice, and everyone will ask you, how did you make it? So trust me guys, it's a whole game changer. So right now I'm gonna add the rice to the spice mix, and I'm just gonna fry that for right about 2 minutes. So this is a very important stage for this method. So we're just gonna cook the rice in those beautiful flavors, and yeah, cook it for right about 2 to 3 minutes. So this stage will infuse a lot of flavor into the rice. So the rice is just gonna absorb all those beautiful flavors. So the beauty of this technique is the fact that I'm able to incorporate a lot of onion into the jollof rice. So to make it very tasty jollof rice, you need to incorporate a lot of onion. So I like to incorporate onion through this method because the low and slow cooking process of steaming the rice will help incorporate the flavors of the onion into the rice. And also this technique also allows me to introduce a lot of minced onion into the recipe, so you don't have to see a lot of onion in your food, but there's a lot of onion in the food, if that makes sense. So I love this technique and I encourage you to try it out. You are absolutely gonna love it. The outcome, it's amazing. So I just added in the tomato stew to the fried rice, and I'm just going to incorporate all of that by mixing to combine. So once I have mixed in the tomato base, I would look out for the color. So you would add as much tomato stew as you want. So if you want the really rich jollof color, you will add as much stew as you want, but if you want it lighter, you just adjust it accordingly. I want a very rich jollof color, so I'm just going to add sufficient stew, and once I mix that in, I'll add in the liquid, and that's pretty much it guys. So I just mixed in the liquid, and that's it guys, and I'm just gonna taste for salt and adjust the seasoning. So at this point, we would now cover the pot. You want to bring it to a boil before you drop the heat to cook low and slow, because it's the steam that's gonna cook the rice. Dropping the heat before you bring it to a boil, you're gonna have soggy rice, because the rice will absorb a lot of water and become soft, soggy, and not visually appealing, and that's not what we are going for. So I'm just gonna drop the heat and cook it. And sorry guys, I lost the clip here. I did check on this rice 3 times prior to now, so you will check on the rice every 15 minutes. So I cooked for right about 60 minutes or thereabouts. So every 15 minutes you will go and you stir up the rice. So you take the top to the bottom to the top. So you're just doing that to evenly distribute the steam within the pot, so the rice is going to cook evenly. It's the steam that's going to cook the rice. So many people make a lot of mistake by adding a lot of water to the rice, thinking that water is going to cook the rice. So if you can check back, you see that I added just a little water, and it's not a lot of water as most people would add to the jollof rice. So the most important thing, you have to be very patient when cooking your jollof rice. So you cook it low and slow, and it takes a longer time with this method, but it's more effective because you have single grain cooked rice. So that's it guys. I'm just going to add in some butter like you see I did, and I'll just mix all of that in, and your jollof rice is pretty much ready. So I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, wanna give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to click on the bell notification. It gives you instant update as soon as I upload my videos. I love you so much for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.